My name is Giles Smith, and welcome to our community. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Josh. And first of all, thank you for being here and giving us this opportunity. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. So tell us more about the district and presently how is it funded?
You bet. Well, first of all, the Apple Valley Fire Protection District is an independent special district. And I want to make sure I clarify that for the folks out there, because a lot of times people think we're actually a town department, that we're associated with the town of Apple Valley. We have a close relationship with the town, we're integrated with the town, but we are in fact an independent special fire district that's actually governed by a 5-member board of directors elected by the citizens within our fire district. Our fire district is actually the first response paramedic agency for fire protection, emergency medical services, rescues, and just about everything else you can imagine that folks are going to call 911 for. So we're responding to those emergencies not only in the town of Apple Valley, but also the surrounding unincorporated county rural areas within our fire district boundaries. So we cover a large geographic area of 206 square miles compared to the town 70. So large geographic area, 206 square miles. Within that area, there's 85,000 citizens that we're protecting. So quite a number of folks that are out there. Currently, we respond to over 10,000 incidents annually, and that's important to realize because this fire district is really, really busy. So that averages about 28 calls per day that we're actually rolling out there and providing a service to our customers. The other thing that's important to note is that we currently have 7 fire stations, but the problem is only 3 of them are staffed 24/7 with firefighters every single day. So we have 7 fire stations, but due to the recession, we only have 3 that are currently staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Before the recession, we actually had 5 fire stations that were staffed. And back before the recession, we had 15 firefighters on duty every day. Today, we have a total of 9 firefighters on duty every day. So we've seen some dramatic cuts over the years. So now the second part of your question, how are we funded? And remember, we are an independent fire district, so it's important to note that as an independent fire district, we don't have access to general fund money. We don't have access to other traditional revenue sources that other city fire departments would have. For example, general fund money, sales tax revenue, hotel tax revenue, and those types of things are not available to us. So the 2 primary funding sources for the fire district, number 1 is property taxes. Property taxes currently account for 61% of our budget. So it's a pretty good sized portion of our budget, 61%. Now, the next main revenue source that we have is a special fire tax, currently known as Measure V, which was previously supported and approved by the citizens of Apple Valley back in 1997. It got 2/3 of the majority vote, and the citizens in this community have been paying that for the last 18 years. This special fire tax currently accounts for 29% of our budget. So that's a big part of our budget. So let's take a look at property taxes. As we all know, we have all felt what the recession has done to a lot of us in terms of our property values. They've really decreased and have gone down. And unfortunately, that has also meant a major impact on the fire district. We've actually lost $1.4 million worth of revenue as a result of the decline in property values for property taxes. So $1.4 million in revenue loss, which makes the special fire tax that we have, currently 29% of our budget, even that much more critical to our operating expenses. So the remaining 10% of our budget revenue is some fees, some small fees, some grants, and then some other minor things like interest payments and those kinds of things. So primarily we're funded through property taxes and the current special fire tax, which is known as Measure V.
So let's elaborate a little bit more on the Measure G. Exactly what is it? What's the intent?
Great question. And so in order to actually answer that question, Giles, I want to clarify something about the current special tax that we have in place, Measure V. When it was passed back in 1997, we put a 20-year sunset clause on there. So it expires in 2017. So we wanted to be proactive and actually do something before that revenue source expired. So knowing that, Measure G is a ballot measure question that will go before the citizens of Apple Valley on June 3rd. And it's going to ask the question, would you wish to continue the previously approved special fire tax for another 20 years? And the reason we picked 20 years, we struggled with that. Should we have it go on forever? Should we have it go on for less time? The reality is we don't want to have to come back to the citizens every 5 years and ask the same question. But we also don't want it to go on forever because we want our community to look at it in the next 20 years and have a say on whether they want to continue that in the future. So we think that's really important for our citizens to understand. So the ballot measure is going to ask us to continue trusting us for the first 20 years. We're asking for your trust for another 20 years. But here's the other thing, is we're going to ask for a very minor increase of $1.99 a month. That $1.99 a month is going to open a fourth fire station. We had 3 currently. We need to open more. We would actually like to open 2 more fire stations, but we wanted to be extremely cautious and ask our citizens to approve a minor increase and not a larger increase, because we really want this to succeed. In order for that to happen, we felt like we needed to be conservative.
What does a homeowner currently pay for special taxes per month? And what will the rate be if Measure G passes?
The rate at this time on the property tax bill is, I believe it's $63 per year, or it's between $61 and $63 per year. So we're at about, on your monthly, we're just over $5 per month. The additional money, the $1.99 per month, in addition to that, is of course to open the new fire station and to allow us to hire 9 firefighters to man that station. And all of the money from that measure will be going to hire new firefighters.
Well, can the tax rates be increased?
According to the Jarvis-Gann initiative from years ago, tax rates can be increased depending on COLA, but not more than 2% in any given year.
So why are the response times so important to a fire district?
That's a great question too. And in order to answer that question, I'll start out with the national standard on where we should be, because I think it's important for our citizens to know. So this is a national standard. Where should we be? Our response time should be 6 minutes. Throughout a suburban area such as Apple Valley, spread out large geographic area, we should be able to get there in 6 minutes. The Apple Valley Fire Protection District's goal is also 6 minutes. Here's the problem. Because we have closed fire stations, and coupled with the fact that our call load is dramatically increasing, our response time currently is 6.55 minutes, so almost 7 minutes. Now, here's why those response times are so critical. If I could relay anything about Measure G, it's really about response times and helping our citizens and doing something for the community, helping our seniors, our children. It's so vital. Here's the importance of that response time. If you or your loved one are suffering a major medical emergency, the clock is ticking. You call 911, the clock is ticking. For example, in a major medical emergency, such as somebody that goes down in a sudden cardiac arrest, in 4 to 6 minutes, brain damage starts to occur. In 8 minutes, brain death occurs. We must get there in 6 minutes. And whether it's a stroke or a heart attack or whatever that major medical emergency is, you want us there quickly, efficiently, with enough personnel to treat effectively and then take you to the hospital. So 6 minutes for a medical emergency is critical. Here's the other part. In a fire scenario, we're trying to prevent a phenomenon that's called flashover. So although we have less fires today, because we do such a good job in the fire department of preventing them in the first place, although we have less fires, they are burning hotter and faster. So what happens is, let's say you have a fire in your living room. It starts small in a corner. You don't notice it. Maybe you're sleeping. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. The fire starts. In approximately 8 minutes, that fire will spread so quickly that your entire living room will become fully engulfed in fire. That's a phenomenon called flashover. That happens in 8 minutes or less. And here's why. In today's modern technology, all of our furnishings are synthetics, plastics, petroleum products, they're laminates, glues. So when that stuff starts burning, it burns rapidly and so fast that you barely have time to escape with your life. So that's why that response time is so important. We want to prevent permanent brain damage, and we also want to prevent property damage as the fire escalates into the flashover period. Survival rates at flashover are 0. That's why they're so important.
Well, how will Measure G help the community, and what is the daily impact to me?
To you as a citizen in Apple Valley, here's the daily impact. Measure G is vital. But number one, what it's going to do is it's going to maintain existing emergency service levels. So currently we have 3 staff fire stations running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 3 firefighters with a paramedic at each fire station. Measure G will maintain at least that existing level. It will maintain it. What it'll also do, though, with that $1.99 a month, is it's going to open up a 4th fire station. And what's important about that is to realize that response times are critical. By opening that 4th fire station, you're going to increase the level of service to the community. You're going to decrease our response times back down to an acceptable level. And we're going to open and close fire stations. So we're going to restore vital emergency services. Here's the other thing that Measure G is going to do. It's going to help maintain stable insurance rates. And that's important for folks to understand. If we were to close one more, if we weren't able to extend a special fire tax into the future, if something happened and we didn't extend the special fire tax, you would see a dramatic increase in fire insurance rates, a dramatic increase of 50 to 75%. If we went from 3 fire stations to 2, because if this doesn't pass, that's what would happen.
Right.
So that's a significant issue for our citizens to understand, is that your fire insurance rates are going to go way up. And where did we get that information? Well, we talked to the insurance industry, or we actually had them run the numbers for us. It would be a dramatic increase in fire insurance rates.
I know when I applied for house insurance, they did ask us, where's the closest fire station?
Absolutely. That's one of the most common questions we get. And for the business community, that's really important too. Because the insurance companies will call and they'll ask us, number one, how close are you? And the key is 5 miles. You must be within 5 miles of a fire station. And then the second key is they're going to ask, is it a full-time? Or is it a volunteer? Is it staff, or is it not staff? Those are important issues that the citizens need to understand, is that, the effect of the positive effect is we're going to increase our level of service. The negative effect is dramatic in the aspect that response times are going to go up, potentially, increasing property damage and, jeopardizing lives and safety. But fire insurance rates are going to go up as well.
I know the cities like Victorville, they kind of have more of a condensed environment. Mm-hmm. Our environment with 2 houses per acre is more spread out.
Yes.
That's some added challenges you have, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. The fire protection in any given community is really based on the needs of that community. Obviously, there's a lot of differences between Apple Valley and Victor, but you're absolutely right, Giles. Apple Valley is a suburban community. They've made that their platform because people love the quality of life that brings it. But as a fire protection district, that presents challenges because, as I said before, we have 206 square miles. We're geographically spread out over a large area. So what does that do? Well, that really puts us a lot of stress and strain on the 3 fire stations that we have trying to keep up with that area. So by putting this 4th one, that's going to really dramatically increase the level of service. Whereas in Victorville, it's much more dense, a little more congested. Not saying it's bad or good, just a lot of differences in the 2 communities.
So exactly what fire station would you reopen?
We're going to reopen the fire station that we're actually sitting in. And that's this is Fire Station 337. It's in the Jess Ranch area of Apple Valley. It's in a rapidly growing area. And the reason that we're going to open this fire station, and just to backtrack a little bit, just to let the folks out there know, because I actually get this asked quite a bit, what are your full-time staff fire stations? Highway 18 in Teo is staff full-time. Highway 18 in Central is staff full-time. Kiowa and Bear Valley. Those are the 3 staff stations. The two on Apple Valley Road are not staffed. Yucca and Apple Valley Road and Jess Ranch. We're going to open Jess Ranch because the statistics show that our biggest call volume and our highest risk factor is right here in this community. We have a senior community that has a lot of medical needs. Plus, if there's a fire, sometimes there may be, circumstances where they can't get out as fast. So this, based on the statistics, this is where the real risk is right now. Not to mention, it's the busiest area. There's 400 new homes coming into this area. That's a big impact. Now, what's important to know is that even though we're opening this fire station, that benefits the entire community because your local fire station will stay in your neighborhood more often because this fire station's open. So it benefits the entire community and not just the folks in Jess Ranch.
Well, most people may not understand that when one station is called to a residence,
yes,
then the other two stations have to cover the whole city.
Great point. And I've even looking at the statistics, there's even a high probability if you call 911 because we're so busy that your neighborhood fire station might be on another call. There's up to a 20-30% chance they could be on another incident, which means that a fire station on the other end of town is coming to your emergency. So by opening this fire station, we're going to prevent that and keep your fire station in your neighborhood.
So before any government agency asks for an increase in revenues, it should exhaust the avenues to reduce the cost first. This is kind of what I think.
Yeah.
What has the Apple Valley Fire Department done in the past to reduce costs, and what sorts of adjustments will the fire district do to keep cutting costs?
That's absolutely a great question and a very valid point. And I'll tell you, I take a lot of pride in our fire district, and especially as the fire chief for our conservative nature. As the fire chief, I would not stand before the citizens of Apple Valley if I didn't know I did everything I could to help reduce the rates. Here's what we've done. We had 8 senior employees that retired. We didn't replace them. We lost 10 firefighter positions due to attrition. We actually have a great group of professional firefighters. All of us working together have agreed to concessions. We've taken payroll reductions. The other big thing that's always on folks' mind, and I know it's probably on a lot of your viewers' mind, is what about our benefits? We've done benefit reform since 1997 in the Apple Valley Fire Protection District. Again, our employees are very, very cooperative. They know the difficulties that are out there. We have done benefit reform where others have not. So we're very proud of that fact. The other thing we've done is we've reduced overtime for our employees. We actually reduced operating costs. We did that through holding off on a lot of the capital outlay projects that we had. So we've done a lot of that. So you couple all that, and we have a balanced budget this year that we're extremely proud of because of all of those things. And my vow is, as the fire chief, we will continue to do just that, to be conservative and to spend the taxpayers' money wisely. That's my job, and that's my commitment.
The reason we want to act this year, the 20 years from 1997 would allow us till 2017 to fund the existing tax. We don't want to wait till 2017 and try to get the word of the urgency of this. Plus, the fact that as we look at it, we only have 3 fire stations in Apple Valley open. The 2 newest fire stations on Apple Valley Road are closed. When I got on the board and others got on the board, we decided we really needed to do something about that and improve the ratio of firefighters to the citizens in Apple Valley. And so we want to not only solidify the existing tax till 2034, but in this economic time, of course, with the declining dollars in revenue, would also like some extra support, and we're hoping that taxpayers will support us in this. And the extra support will go to hiring more firefighters so that we can open a new full-time station, or another full-time station that's been closed because of the economy. And the fire station right now, of course, we're looking at is the one we're sitting in. And this one has a lot of traffic, and we're sitting in the fire station at Jess Ranch right now. And we have an unbelievable amount of traffic down to this end of town, yet the firefighters have to travel from Kiowa and Bear Valley to get here. And which, of course, when they're here, it leaves that entire area at Kiowa and Bear Valley open so that other firefighters have to go to whatever emergency call is there. And so we're fighting a losing battle with the number of firefighters we have. And we really need to get one of these closed stations open.
Well, the people kind of want to know, is this is Measure G a separate or a new tax, or is it an additional tax that we're already paying?
It's a little of both. It's a mixed question. We are paying a fire tax right now, and that was the 1997 tax of Measure V. And right now on our tax bills, as I had said before, I believe it's $63 a month. And there's an addition to that, and the addition is that $2 a month or $1.99 per month that's added on to that. And so it's a little of both.
Be public accountability and fiscal controls?
There's always, I would hope, there's always public accountability and fiscal control. This is public funds. We have a 5-member board of directors that are elected by the people, and that is their main job, is that fiscal responsibility. And I think, I know that those 5 members of this board take that very, very seriously. And so when we say there's $1.99 per month, or that additional money is going toward firefighters, those are the promises that we have from the employees of the fire district, and that's our commitment. Our commitment is that money is going to go solely to hiring new firefighters, not for raises, not for additional things, not for new fire trucks. Absolutely putting firefighters on the street.
So if you could G does not pass.
If Measure G doesn't pass, we actually have one more attempt. I just want to make that clear for the voters that the current special fire tax actually expires in 2017. So if Measure G didn't pass, we would have one more opportunity. But the problem with that is we have a significant need now. So if the special fire tax that we currently have, which is 30% of our budget, doesn't pass, it's very simple. It's 30% of our budget. We're going to close the fire station. Response times are going to go up. You're going to see increased property damage. Not to mention all the other things that we do as your community fire district. We actually do a lot to prevent fires from happening in the first place. So we're very involved in our schools. We preach public education, fire prevention, not just fire prevention, but drowning.
Where can our audience get additional information about Measure G?
Well, like everything, I really encourage your viewers, please get out there and vote. Wherever you stand on the issue is fine. But please, let your voice be known. Get out there and vote. It's really important. If you want more information on Measure G, please go to our website, the Apple Valley Fire Protection District website, and you can access that at www.applevalleyfd.com, or you can call our business line Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 at 247-7618. And then the final website that I'll give you is a website that's maintained by local citizens in the community that are supporting Measure G, and it has a lot of great information on Measure G. That website is www.measureginfo.com. So please give us a call. We'd love to talk with you. Come see me. I'm available to answer our citizens' questions and welcome the opportunity.
So if you could talk to the people right now, and you can look into the camera and you can tell them whatever you want to say, what would you tell them?
I tell them that I was one of the reasons that I wanted to get on the fire board is because I had realized that the decline in the number of firefighters. I have friends. There's a lot of kids that grew up in this town that are firefighters, and they're doing the best job that they can right now. But we're just too spread out. When you start dealing with 200 square miles and you start dealing with only 3 fire stations open, it's just not enough, and it's very dangerous. And I know if my loved ones or me or anybody else has a dire emergency, you would like to get somebody to respond in a reasonable amount of time. The reality is as hard as they're trying, that's not always going to be possible. And in addressing the citizens of Apple Valley, I would just like you to join me in supporting this and supporting our local firefighters and helping them get the job done that they need done, that we need done.